Hey, welcome back, uh, people, folks, y'all. we gonna- We're just gonna. You gotta make sure you gotta have all the bases covered there as far as
Yep.
the intros. Make sure everybody's feeling welcome and included there. But yeah, welcome back to um, another session of NX Office Hours, where we talk about building cool things. We talk about NX. We talk about things about that are happening, things that NX supports, and other community projects and open source and things like that. So we're back at it once again. Thanks to those who are already in the chat. I see we had some people coming in here, so thanks y'all for coming through. Um, yeah, so have with me relatively new Nrwlian, but you've been here for I guess a couple of months now. But go ahead and introduce yourself. I know you probably got a crew with you, but go ahead and introduce yourself for the people who may not have seen you before.
Hi, everyone. Hi Brandon. Thanks for having me today. So my name
Yeah.
is Chau. Um, I am a senior engineer at Nrwlian. I started Nrwlian about 3 months ago, as Brandon mentioned.
Hmm.
I almost say Brian. That's my son's name, by the way. I'm an Angular GD, NestJS core team, and not so coincidental. We're gonna talk about something that I do pretty much a lot today with
Yeah.
Brenda. So thanks everyone for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on so we can talk about Nest.js and the like I said, you're a core team member, so I'm gonna see if I can throw some questions and see
Oh
if we
man.
can.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. We won't put you in front of the firing squad for the questions, but I will say that for the people in the chat, if you do have some questions that we did not get before the stream started, feel free to drop those in there, and we'll collect those, and maybe we'll get to some of them, and we'll see what we can do with the rest of them. And
Yes. And the good thing is, if I cannot answer your questions, I know who to ask. So there's that.
I was supposed to say that. I was going to say I'm supposed to ask you, and I
Then
can ask you.
I'm like a VPN for NetJS. I'm gonna proxy you to the people that I know.
Okay, that works too. So if we can't find the information here, we'll find somebody who does have the answer. So
Yep.
that way we can get that going. I'll go ahead and drop this in the chat. If you are new to the live stream, definitely check out our community page. There you can join our community Slack channel there. And like I said, if you have other questions or you're just getting started with Nest.js or even NX itself, you can definitely join there and feel free to get in on the fun there. So with that, I guess we'll go ahead and jump right into it. Um, yeah, we're talking about Nest.js building modern Node.js applications with Nest.js. So, Chow, you want to give us the elevator pitch of what Nest.js? I know you've had to do this plenty of times, but you want to kind of tell us about what Nest.js is and what it does?
Absolutely. So NestJS is a Node.js framework that is inspired by Angular. So you have basically modules, or I'm going to go a little bit higher, separation of concerns. That what NestJS is all about. So you have all the building blocks in your um, Node.js application. So we all know that Express.js, if you search for the Express.js, you're gonna have like a tons of gazillion starter
Mm-hmm.
with um, with like Node.js or Express.js, one with like TypeScript, one without TypeScript, one with JS, one with Jasmine, whatever you have. But then with Next.js, everything comes um, like out of the box for you with dependency injection system, with a lot of support for a lot of modules built in,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it comes with TypeScript. So you don't have to look for a starter pack. Just start with netjs.com.
Yeah, I've used Nest.js some on some, of course, some side projects and things, but I really like the the like the out of the box experience. The docs are nice, by the way. I'll throw that out there too. But yeah, like I said, usually the path that I've gone down before was to, uh, like you said, look up some. Where can I find something that has to do something with Express, and find some like starter template or things like that, and then kind of work from there. Um, but yeah, you said Nest.js kind of takes that a step further, like a more modern take on Node
Hmm.
applications
Yep.
that you can use there. Of course, it's all open source there, so
Hmm.
that's definitely cool. And you
A
said
little,
what's
yeah, a little fun fact, though. I don't know if it's like a fun fact or what, but a lot of people, like on the front end work, right? A lot of people they shine away from Angular because of like the uh, I'm sorry, Brandon, boilerplate.
oh, see, I thought we were friends. I thought we was cool.
We're
Yeah.
friends. Okay, so but then when it comes to like Nest.js, all of a sudden like people like the modules approach.
hmm
Yeah, so
Yeah,
just want to throw it out there.
yeah, there's one thing that, like you said, Nest.js was inspired by Angular and has modules in it also. And uh, I thought that was interesting, and the way those two things kind of integrate together. And and I was wondering if Nest.js um, had to like not convince developers and other ecosystems that it wasn't an Angular thing, or if there was anything I had to do there, or did it kind of just people just kind of ran with it and still used it, even though it kind of had that kind of similar feel to it.
Yep. So, like I said, a lot of people who work, in a kind of serious project, they kind of like turn into TypeScript
Mm-hmm.
for to maintain their projects, right? Even though for React View people they use TypeScript, and when they
Mm-hmm.
want to look for like a backend framework or backend tool to use to build the API, they started looking into TypeScript. And as I said, if you look for like Express TypeScript, is a lot of things that you have to learn or you have to
Mm-hmm.
know or you have to look into and filter those to get the one that you want. Now with NetJS, a lot of people just go with NetJS to for that out of the box support of all
Mm-hmm.
these modern tools. On the other hand, a lot of people comes to Nest because they have experience with Spring and C Sharp or
Okay.
.NET because it is familiar in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I built a couple of applications in C sharp, um, back in my former former days, and definitely got some of that feel when I was, like I said, building with Nest.js apps. And like I said, somebody in the chat said it's a nice way to
Yeah,
chat, nice way to get into TypeScript, which I agree with. TypeScript seems to be eating the world these days and everything. So having first class support for that, I think is a good win there, especially like on like back end development when you want to like you want to have that safety and like that type enforcement there.
absolutely.
So yeah, cool. And then, like I said, you can build many different types of applications. Somebody mentioned in the chat ERPs and CRMs and throwing all the acronyms out there. Excuse me. But it's like I said, Nest.js lets you build all those things in a more modern way. Um, so yeah, the and you said you are on the core team for Nest.js. So I guess can you like talk about real quick just like overall structure? Like, are there lots of people on the core team, or what's the structure like there?
So people on the core team are mainly contributors.
Hmm.
So I was a contributor to Nest.js and mainly with the Swagger module, so
Mm-hmm.
OpenAPI integration with Nest.js. So just one day, Camille, and by the way, Camille is the Nest.js creator. He just
Yeah.
reached out and said, "Hey, you're active in the community, blah blah blah. Do you want to be a core team member?" And that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much it,
Okay.
right? So it's nothing official or anything like that, but you get asked by the creator
Mm-hmm.
to become a core team, and it's again comprised of a lot of community members.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely one part I like about open source is that you get if you start contributing, then of course the maintainers and people are going to notice that, and then if you most of the times if you contribute enough, then they, give you see if you want to come in and be a more active, officially more active maintainer on the project, which is cool. So
Hmm.
definitely get some kudos along with that.
Yep.
All right. So like I said, we're going to cover a few things. We talked about building modern applications. So I guess we can go ahead and jump right into
Hmm.
getting started with NestJS. Unless you wanted to cover anything before we dive right in. I know we got some people in the chat wanting to learn about it. So probably some new people and
Yep.
some
Yeah.
current users. So
Absolutely. So I just wanna be quickly talk about the agenda, I guess,
hmm
for today demo. So I guess we're not gonna be able to talk about ERPs or CRMs because I think we're gonna be here for a long time. We want to
yeah,
talk about that.
we'll be here all day if we're talking about trying to build a ERP from scratch here. But yeah.
Yep. So if you Next.js does come with like a CLI again. It was inspired by the Angular, so
hmm
it does come with a CLI. But we're talking modern here, so we're going to use NX to set up our Nest.js application with a more rigid, I guess, structure. And
hmm
so let's just, I guess, just go then.
Yeah, sure. So we have done a little bit of prep work here, not too much, but we wanted to definitely save the people some time here and setting up repos and yarn installs and all that.
Yeah.
So we'll bring up we got a repo here that we can walk through and kind of just like I said, we're gonna walk through building some. So you got people in chat. Rigid is opinionated. Yes, we like the opinions
Yeah, we
and
like
some.
other people's opinions, so we don't have to come up with opinions about stuff. So
That's right. We can just lean into those
yeah.
structures and things there. Um, so yeah, let's see what we have. We'll just kind of walk through this repo real quick. What we have here, and what we did was start out with just an empty, or we started with an empty workspace. So I'll bring up the, I can bring up the command here that we normally use to create an NX workspace. If you are new to that, NX workspace, and I believe we typed this one NX Office Tour, but we can say NestJS org, and I'll just show that on the screen there. So npx create NX workspace NestJS org, and that will give you the essentially what you need to create a new monorepo with NX, and that will prompt you about some things that you would need to show, or the things that you want to build here. So in this repo, we have some things that were generated already. We started out with an application. This is an Angular, or sorry, that's the API. Sorry, Angular application. So pretty standard stuff there. And then in libraries, we have API interfaces, and then we have the actual API itself that was generated also. But like I said, you can get all these things for free with starting your new workspace there, and just kind of get you going there. And feel free to add anything, Chau, if I left anything out here. I know we had generated this, and I know we had updated some things there. So
Yep.
if you want to talk through that also.
Absolutely. So, like Brendan said, we ran the Great NX workspace, um, I guess CLI, to generate this workspace, and I used the preset Angular Nest. So that comes with the Angular front end and the
hmm
Nest.js backend, and it also set up the proxy between these two um, application for you. And this also comes with the API interfaces to show that you can share models between the front end and the back end in the same workspace. Well, and one last thing is that I update the version of NestJS to version 8 and also RxJS to 7
hmm
because NX, the latest version of NX still does not support Nest 8. But we want to go with the latest here, modern. That's the keyword.
Yeah, so you're right on the bleeding edge. We're using RxJS 7 and Next.js 8. So at least it's a good test to know that that will work. You know, when we
Yeah.
eventually upgrade everything to
Mhm.
when NX13 or NX version 13 comes out here
Yep.
pretty soon,
Mhm.
and people will be able to update with that. So
Yep.
that's cool. All right. So where do we want to start from here? I'm doing the driving here, and then you can tell me which way you want, which direction you want to
Yep.
go in. But
So for now, I would just go to the post application here
hmm
and go to app component.ts. We probably just remove any reference to the API interfaces because we're going to remove them.
okay. So let's go in here and message. And do we want to take out the HTTP call also or no?
Yep, we're going to take that out because, again, we're going to show a correct way of doing that.
Okay. And we're gonna take out this message hello here that starts out pretty simple there. And let's see if we can get this. Do we want to go ahead and start serving the app, or
We
we
have
want
more
to?
stuff to remove. So before we start, let's just
Okay.
remove some more stuff. So again, now we're gonna touch the Angular for a while. So let's go to the API and
Okay.
source. Go to so I would just delete the app service and test file
All right. Let's delete that. So we went. So
and
just to kind of walk through people what we're doing is you're just gonna we're working our way from the back end to it, and then set that up with NestJS and kind of talk through some of
yep,
that, and then kind of connect things back up to the front, right?
yep. Now go back to the app controller.
Okay.
We're gonna instead of return the message, we just return a static string hello, whatever. Yeah,
Okay. Hello. Message. Okay. And that should just be a string,
yeah.
and then we can delete this.
Do you want to remove line 3 as well, the import?
Yeah.
Yep. So again, for people who is not familiar with NestJS, this is your controller.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this is your route handler class. So you can have multiple controllers that handle multiple endpoints and stuff like that. So you get the controller decorator and get decorator from NestJS, uh, and you can imagine that you can get like post, patch, put, delete,
Mm-hmm.
all of those as well. So it is more familiar with the people that come from like the Spring Boot framework, definitely.
Okay.
Uh,
And at
right.
least, like you said, you got your, like I said, some of these things will look familiar to Angular developers here. We got decorators and modules here. I go ahead and take this out since we already deleted that. But then
Mhm.
you can tell me where to go from there.
Yep. Now we are good to remove the API interfaces libraries. So
API
let's
interfaces.
yep, let's
Okay.
use the NX console to remove it, I guess.
NX console. We're gonna use this right from the jump this time. I usually
Yeah.
usually skip over this part or I forget to use it. Let's see.
I think it's gonna be a
Cons.
generate.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct. And it's gonna remove.
Yep.
Use that one. And name of the project API interfaces.
Yeah.
We got the dry run here. Okay, no changes. So we're good to go ahead and run this.
Yep.
All right. Generate. Okay, looks like we're done there. If we go back to our apps here, or go back to our libs, we can see that the API interfaces is no longer
Yep.
there.
Right. Yeah. Now before we start the app, let's go to Angular JSON. We're gonna set up a new target so we can run the front end and the back end together.
Yes. I always forget to do this when I'm when I'm setting up a new app and I got like an API and a backend app, and then I need to serve them both at the same
Yep.
time. I always
Yeah.
forget that part.
All right. So yeah, let's do it right there. Call it whatever you want to, I guess.
I'll call it serve all,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna use executor.
I think it's gonna be builder because we're using Angular JSON now.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
I thought we could still use. the
I
other
think,
one, but we'll roll with that.
yeah, I guess you have to change the version of AngularJSON, but I don't want to really
Yeah.
get into that.
Okay.
It might not work.
And then we're gonna go with run commands.
Absolutely.
Ah, yes, the hidden gem
The hidden gem. Yeah.
of NX is the run commands that let you just do whatever you want to. Let's see if I have options here. If I remember the syntax correctly, it's commands, and uh, and then what we want to run here, we want to run the serve for both of them.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And I think we can just use a string um,
All right. We
instead of
don't have to
object,
break it
right?
down to an
Hmm.
object, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. If I can type. Okay. So NX serve. What was our
It's
other
API. It's
API?
API. Yeah. And NXRF post.
NX serve post.
And make sure that we run these in parallel.
Run parallel. Okay, it's true by default.
Yep. Now, I guess we're done. We're ready to run this target.
Okay, so we'll do NX serve all posts or
Can,
post.
can we do that?
Yes, we should be able to. Or sorry,
It's
is it
API.
API? There you go.
Oh, okay. Today I learned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I only use NS run because I thought that like the build, serve, and
hmm
test and length, all of those words like reserved word. So,
Oh, yes, those are reserved, but if you don't use one of the reserve words, it'll just look for that target inside of
oh,
your for that
cool,
project. So yeah.
nice,
Hey, I did something. I contributed something to this. So there you go.
awesome, awesome. All right, and
Okay.
I mean, like the front end is on localhost 4200. Not much to see there,
Mm-hmm.
and the back end is on 3333/API.
Yep. Okay. So it looks like we got both of those up and running.
Yep.
So what do we want to do next?
Um, I mean, we can go to the 3333 last API to make sure that we see the hello string.
Yes. Okay. Browser. Let's see if this will work correctly. Let me close this to give some more space. That will work. Okay. There we go. Localhost 233 API. Okay. So we got API not found. And that may be what I wanted to do there. Or is it just, well, it said 333/API, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Can you try removing the API?
Yes. So can I get slash? See if that is,
Can we check the man.ts file?
yes. Let's go with that main.ts. Make sure, oh, you got too many editors open
Yep.
here
So we
now.
have, okay, we have the global prefix. So it should work with the API.
Mm-hmm.
Um, can you go to app module, make sure that we have the controller mapped? It is. So
Okay, we got app
go to app
controller,
controller.
and we got,
Controller, oh, /API/hello. Sorry.
there you go. Yes, there's no, I see, or there's no default for the route that we were, or default for /API, so that's why we didn't get anything there.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we did API/hello,
Yep.
and then that came up correctly. So,
All right. Now that we know that it's working, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the app controller.
it was like, great, we did that, and we broke it, and we fixed it, and now we're gonna take it out again. So,
Yep, we're gonna take it out. So the reason why we take everything out from the app folder of the API is that we're gonna go with the tiny application, so that nothing is inside of your application,
I see.
and everything will be in your library. And this works great with NX and NestJS because I mean NestJS support module, so
Mm-hmm.
your library can be a module.
Okay, so that's a good point there. So you naturally get that kind of that structure where you can break things down and make them smaller libraries as far as like setting up your Nest.js app.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. Right now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up some configuration for our application. I'm going to need you to install a package.
Okay, let's see. Hopefully the yarn installs will be kind. And so what do you want to install?
So yarn add nestjs/config.
Nest.js. Oops, not nets. Nest.js/config.
Yep.
Okay. Is that a dev or
No,
just it doesn't matter?
it is an runtime
Oh, okay.
dependency. Yeah.
Okay, so what is this? While that's going there, what is this Nest.js config package? Or are we going to get into that after it installs?
Yep. So config package is a module provided by you to you by NestJS to
Mm-hmm.
handle your basically environment variables.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, okay. I I I usually just roll with the .env and then hope that it hope that it not hope that it works because .env is pretty reliable. So
Mhm.
I'm just so used to using that as opposed to
Yep.
using that package from SJS. But
Yeah. So yeah, basically um, config module wraps the .env.
mm-hmm.
But it's nice that now because config module is built in NestJS way, so that you can use more like dependency injection kind of things with NestJS
Mm.
with more intention,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Well, because I mean, is not that it's better than just do a process.env that
Mm-hmm.
dot your environment variable. I mean that's the fastest way. But then with the config module is like a more roundabout way, but is the intention is clearer
Mm-hmm.
with your configuration.
Yeah, and like I said, you get more structure around
Mhm.
how you how you're using it and that thing, so you're not just like
Yep.
throwing that around. So
Yes.
cool.
All right. Now the first thing is we're going to create a library. Oh, create I guess directory called API, right? Because we're going to put all the API related libraries inside of that directory.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's pretty standard practice, or is that pretty standard practice with I know we do it for the NX in general, but as far as API, you kind of group them that way also with Nest.js apps to generate
Mm,
the libraries under that.
absolutely not.
Okay.
so because Nest.js, um, the people that use Nest.js don't usually use workspace. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the Nest.js CLI just has support for workspace recently,
Okay.
and there's not really not really practice or good practices around those as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So
So
yeah,
we're
so
just doing a
usually if
little bit
you
structure
if
here.
yeah, if you use like NestJS CLI, you usually just have one NestJS application, so it doesn't really make sense to group those.
I see. Okay. They have a question here. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. So I what does this mean? Like, what does remote configs mean?
Yeah, just config module work with remote configs. Yeah, we'll collect that one and see. We may come back to
Hmm.
that one and see if
Yeah.
about that one. But yeah, what do we want to do next? We got our
Yep.
API folder. We're
Yep.
gonna generate a library in here.
Yep. We're gonna generate a library in there, and we're gonna call that utils dash config
Okay, so generate. So we're gonna use normal dash nest
library.
library.
Yeah.
There we go. Generate and utils and generate this in API.
Oh, utils dash config.
Oh, utils.
No. I mean the library name.
Oh, utils dash config. Okay.
Yeah. And the directory is API. It doesn't have to be buildable. I mean, it depends on. I make all my libraries buildable. So
Okay. Any particular reason why you make them all buildable, or you just want? Do you use a lot of incremental? Well,
I
would you
want
need to use
I
incremental
want that.
builds?
Yeah, yeah, I want that.
Okay. So you heard it. You're generating NestJS libraries. Use buildable libraries and incremental build. So there you go.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's it. I mean, if you want to go with like good practice, we should have some scope, but I mean,
Hmm.
we don't have to do it here. So just run it.
Okay. That works.
We're gonna generate another library, and we call it feature config this time instead of utils.
Okay. Feature config.
And there's a good reason for that. I'm gonna explain it after the fact.
Hmm. Okay.
All
So this will
right.
be under API also. So we'll go ahead and run that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Feature config.
All right. Cool. Now go to your utils config. Um, you go to source.
Okay.
We're gonna delete that module. We don't need that module here.
Okay. Delete that. Yes. And we'll
And
close this generate here. And we also need to remove it from the index, right?
yep.
Okay, if I can.
Cool. Now inside of lib of utils config, we're gonna create an app.configuration.ts.
Okay, app.configuration.ts.
All right. Now inside of this, we're gonna export a const app configuration.
Okay, so are we using uppercase?
Just camel case, fine.
Cam-
Camel case, yeah.
okay, that works.
And it's gonna equals register as. I don't know if you can hear that. Register as.
Register.
As as with camel case.
Oh, get that?
Yep. And it's gonna be imported from NestJS config.
Okay, looks like it doesn't want to give me any help here. So let's see if I can import it from there. NestJS config. Okay. So we got register as, then what's next? We got
Yep, we're gonna give this a name. I'll call it app, just a string app.
okay.
And the second argument is a function that's gonna return an object.
Okay. So return object.
So now this is where you're gonna set up set up your application configuration. I'm gonna just paste it to you in Slack,
Okay.
so it's easier because it's code.
Big blob of code incoming here shortly. Let's
And yes, we're gonna explain it.
see.
I'm gonna explain it.
Even better.
Mhm.
Okay. Copy paste.
And people that are familiar with NestJS and familiar with the NestJS config will say this approach is a little bit different than the documentations.
Hmm.
So this is what I've been using for my personal projects and for my other projects. That in when it comes to deal with configuration, because first it gives me typeset.
Hmm.
Second, you can still use the .env if you like. So if you can see here, for app configuration, I have the protocol, which is HTTP or HTTPS. I have a
Hmm.
host, port, and then I have a getter of domain. Like you can have getter with this setup. You cannot have this with like a .env setup.
Oh, right. Because it's
Right.
expecting you to just have like a plain text file that has your
Yeah.
configuration in it, right?
Yep. So now I have like, if I have these in the environment, then I use these. If not, I use default values. So
Hmm.
you can provide default values. Right now we have the app configuration. We're going to create a type for this configuration. So export type,
Okay. Export type.
which is due is after the
Oh, okay.
configuration because we're going to need the app configuration.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So now just app configuration with Pascal case. We're going to use a utility type called config type from NestJS config,
Config type.
and we're going to
Okay.
pass in a generic called type of app configuration.
App configuration. It
Yep.
gave me some help that time, so I didn't have to type as
Yep.
much.
So now if you hover over app configuration, you will see it has your type.
Yes. So it gives gives me
Actually,
the
on line 7, I would wrap the process.env.app port inside of a number. We want that as a number.
all right. I don't know about you, but I always run my app on port with the port 3000, the number. I mean the string instead of the number. So
Uh,
no, I'm just kidding.
okay. Yep. So now next, we're gonna create like a helper. I would call it export const
Okay.
inject app config, and this is Pascal K as well.
Inject app config.
Yeah, I would capitalize the inject.
Oh right. There you go.
And this is a function that's gonna return inject from. No, just call it. Just call the function inject from NestJS common.
Okay, that one.
Yep, and we pass in app configuration dot key.
Key.
Right, so now whenever you want to inject your app config, you can just use that helper instead of remember
I
that
see.
syntax.
Okay, I see. And
Yep.
this dot key property, I'm guessing, is added on using the register.
Yes.
Is on the register
Yep.
as return
Yep.
or type from return
Yep.
from that.
All right, now we're done with the app configuration. Just go ahead and export it as the public API.
Okay, utils. Export app configuration.
I guess we want to export everything, right?
Yeah, that is probably the better way to go for the long term. From app configuration.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Now we go to the feature config module.
All right, let's open this one up here. Are we doing more deleting here?
No,
Or?
we're gonna use that one.
Okay, cool.
Actually, we're gonna remove all of those three, like 4, 5, 6 there, and we're gonna just use the imports instead of those 3.
Okay. Imports.
So we're gonna import config module.
Config module.
Yeah, it's gonna be from NestJS config.
Okay, imports. I don't know why I'm not getting any intelligence here, but we're just,
I guess you should switch to WebStorm then.
roll. See, see, I lobbed it up there, and you dunked it. So you got me.
So config module.forRoot.
Config module.forRoot. Definitely has that familiar, like you said, that familiar Angular
Yep.
Syntax there with the for root pattern.
We're gonna pass in an object for the for root.
Okay.
And first, we're gonna make this is global true. So is global true. This means that all the configuration that you load with the config module will becomes global, globally accessible. So you don't have to like keep import this config module over and over again.
Okay, that brings up a good point, because when I was using NestJS before, or on a side project, I noticed that I did have to import a module into other. I had to import it multiple times in other places, even though I had it in the root, because I thought it was more of a cascading thing versus just being naturally or being globally available if you import it at the top. So I thought that was interesting.
Yep. All right. So now next to this, we have a load, and it's going to be an array.
Okay.
Yep. Now you can just pass in app configuration.
App configuration. And I get no help.
Do you have to like restart TypeScript server for VS Code to help you?
Probably. Let's do TypeScript reload project. I know all the WebStorm people are cringing right now because I'm not getting any. Like if you just used WebStorm, you get all the fancy imports and things. Of course, VS Code is completely falling down at the moment, but that's okay. Let's see.
It's gonna be a long workspace
this
name.
Is like the NX.
NX Office Hour.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. The utils config.
Utils config. All right.
Yep. All right. Now we're gonna take this module and import it into the app module.
Okay, so we'll save that. and go to the app module and import it here. Maybe we'll get some. Still not getting any help. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Well, at least it's giving me
Yeah.
some help here. Some utils config.
No, it's gonna be
Or
feature
feature
config.
config. Yeah.
Right.
Feature.
So now the reason why, so some people might ask, why not just use the utils config module, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to make a very distinction separation between what can be imported inside of app module.
I see.
So basically, everything that I import in app module should be a feature module.
Mm-hmm. And that way, you like I said, you keep your like what we strive for, and with using NX is to keep the applications themselves relatively thin and just a place to, like what you said, wire up these global
Yep.
things and
Yep.
bring in features where you need to.
Yep.
So.
And think about it, like now we have one NestJS application. What if you have another application,
Mm-hmm.
NestJS, basically just a serverless function, like cloud function, but then you reuse the feature config with the same configuration that you set up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right, let me
right.
close this.
All right, now we have the feature config module set up. Now we can go to main.ts and start using the app configuration to set up like the port and stuff like that.
I see.
All right, on line 12 before line 13, I would add a const
Line 12, const here.
app config, and we could use app.get.
App.get.
Yep, and we're going to use app configuration.key. And the get method actually a generic function, so you can pass in app configuration type for the get method, so that we get IntelliSense.
Okay, I see. So we're going to use the Pascal case one that we
Yep.
also define in there.
Yep.
I gotcha.
Cool. Now you can remove line 17.
Line 17.
All right. On line 18, instead of those port, we do app config.port. All right, and you can now actually for the listening, we can do this instead. I'm gonna paste that and select again for you because I don't want to like read through all of that string template and stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, because we set up a domain as a getter, we can just use that.
Mm-hmm. Now let's look at, I guess, take a quick look to see. Okay, so we're still using the logger here to show the message, and we're just replacing that with the information from the app config and the global prefix that's already defined in here.
Yep.
Okay, I was just making sure there wasn't any magic we needed to point out for people to use there. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. So now just to double check, now your backend should run on port 3000 instead of 3333.
Okay, so we'll go here, and we just probably need to restart this thing using the fancy run commands.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. Okay, we got localhost 3000 API, so that'll look good there. No issues.
Right. Now, let's start with another configuration.
Okay.
Yep. And we're going to try to connect to a MongoDB. So in the utils config, create a mongo.configuration.ts.
Utils config. Okay, we just want to do this in the source, or
in the same level at the app configuration. It's just another configuration.
Oh, okay. Let's see, app configuration. Okay, and you said create what? Mongo?
Mongo.configuration.ts.
Oh, okay, I see. I'm gonna have some new stuff to try out here when we after the stream is over, because I had to do some more stuff with Mongo. I have to learn some more there. Okay, so we got a mongo.configuration.ts.
Yeah, I send you some code. To speed up this a little bit.
I see.
The concept is the same as the app configuration.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're just using, like say, using that common convention that you talked about before,
Yep.
as far as defining the using the register as, and maybe
Hmm.
we'll get okay. Now we're getting some imports, import help here. So the the
It's a
web
little slow behind. It's
the
all right.
WebStorm people will give me some grace. Uh,
All right,
but
and we're gonna export this as well. All right. So
okay, let's
yeah.
see. Yeah, we got already got that one there. Lib Mongo.
And we're gonna use this with the feature config. Right. We're gonna add that to the load um, array.
Okay, app configuration, Mongo configuration.
Yep. Now we're gonna add a Mongo dependency to the project. So
Okay,
you're gonna have to do yarn add again.
here,
So do yarn add NestJS at NestJS / mongoose
Mongoose.
space mongoose. We still
Uh,
need the actual mongoose. Right. That's it.
okay, so we'll add that, and our install is going
Yep.
relatively
So yeah.
smoothly. But
So
this is just another.
right, another built-in support for MongoDB people.
Mm-hmm.
For the SQL people, we have support for type ORM. Um, there's micro ORM. They have their own NestJS module. So actually,
Mm.
they have like official support for NestJS. So if
Okay.
you want to use like different ORMs, it's up to you.
Well, cool. Yeah, I like that that you have some things that are, like I said, plugged in first party support from Nest.js, and then you also have ones that are supported by, external libraries or databases and things like that. So you definitely have that compatibility down there also.
Yep. Right now we have that. We now can go to app module.
Now we just got to wait for finish compiling here.
Yeah, the
App
NGCC.
module.
Uh,
One day there will be
what,
no more NGCC,
yeah.
and then I will shed a single tear about that we don't have to use it anymore.
Yep.
Okay, now we're back in the app module.
Yeah, imagine all the computation got
All of
saved.
the computation saved from no more NGCC.
All right. So now inside of the imports, we're gonna do Mongo or Mongoose module.
Okay, let's see, make sure we got that there.
If I remember it correctly,
Mongoose,
I might fail you, Brendan. So let's see. Let me double check on mine. Yeah, Mongoose module.
Mongoose module. I probably had to restart. Well, I shouldn't have to restart if I was just npm package. NestJS Mongoose.
Yep. Right now, Mongoose module have a couple of methods to set up your configurations. The one we use it will be for root async.
For root async. That's different. And
That
yes, I was just a good shout out to Evan, who a single tear of joy for the disappearance of NGCC. Yes, that is correct.
right. Yep. So now you're gonna pass in an object.
Okay.
Like for root async is like your if you're familiar with like provider with use factory and depths.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is exactly the same, but for your module. So this I think this is something that Angular does not support, but
Yeah, I was
NestJS
about to
does.
ask about that because whenever you throw the word async in there, that means that you can. I'm assuming you can do some dynamic
Yep.
stuff in there with that, right?
Yep. Now with that in mind, we're gonna use the inject. There's an inject, which is an array.
Okay.
Right. We're gonna inject the Mongo configuration.key.
Mongo configuration dot key.
And outside of the inject, we have a use factory.
Okay. Use factory.
Yep, it's gonna be a function that return an object. And because we say inject that, we have access to the Mongo config in this factory function argument.
Okay.
So, and that is the Mongo configuration Pascal case that we set up.
I see. Mongo configuration.
Yep. Now inside of here, we just return a URI. A
Oops.
URI. Yeah, you can spread that, but I mean, it's up to you.
Sorry, I was jumping ahead. I was on to the.
No, that's it. That's it. Just spread it because I mean I construct the Mongo configuration the same.
Okay, so what you I guess where we were going before I jumped
Just
ahead there, we
yeah,
were just going to type
URI
in URI and then it'll go to config. I
config.uri.
see.
Yeah, and then there's a DB name as well.
DB
Yep.
name. Okay, was those the
Yep.
only two that we were going to put in there?
Yep. That's it.
Okay,
So
I'll
this
leave it
is
like that. That's
yeah.
way it's more
Yep.
clear what was going on there.
Yeah. So this is what I meant by not using the process.env everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Yeah,
you have IntelliSense. You can just Command B or Control click on the URI and just jump straight to your configuration, and you know what's going on.
I see.
Yep.
Let's see. No more magic strings
Yep.
going on there. You got
All right.
you
So
got
now
type
you
safe
have
all the
yep.
way.
Then now you have Mongoose. We're gonna set up a Docker Compose to spin up a Mongo Docker container, so you don't have to install Mongo. So
Okay.
just and on your root, go ahead and create a Docker Compose file.
Docker compose. Okay, new file. Docker compose. YAML.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna assume that you're pasting me some
Yeah. I'm
some
not gonna.
Mong
Yeah,
some
I'm not gonna read through that.
Docker YAML that we're not gonna have to type in manually.
Yeah.
So we're gonna toss that in there.
Yeah. And now go back to your Angular.json, the serve all target, and we add Docker Compose up there.
Okay. Serve all.
And I guess for now we should take out the post, the front end. We shouldn't have to worry about it for now.
Okay. And let me make sure.
So just Docker Compose up.
Docker
That's
compose up.
yeah. And now let's run this, and we'll see the Mongo service is spin up, and now Mongo's module will be able to connect to the database.
Okay. 1 second. I got to make sure my got Docker running. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
make sure it's all good there. Make sure it's not giving me any uh, messages, annoying messages that it tends to do sometimes. Okay, so we got that up and running. So we're gonna run. We're gonna stop. Just start this and restart it.
Yep.
Okay. So we got. I'll close that so we can see what's going on in here. That's pretty noisy. Let's clear that. Nx serve all API. And we got the serve, and hopefully we got the Docker. Hopefully Docker will behave. Okay, looks like we're running here, pulling from library/Mongo. No issues. That's probably the API that's doing that part.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
I think now we set to start with our first, I guess, entity, our model.
Okay.
Oh, that worked. But again, this is probably what you probably do in like a real project to set up your
Mm-hmm.
configuration first um, before you. What is that error? Unhead of it.
Looks like okay. Let's see.
Oh. Because you never, you probably never pull a Mongo image before from
Right.
Docker. So it's gonna take a while to do that, but it's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. It's fine. We're gonna get back to that later. But
Okay.
let's go with our first model, and we're gonna go with something easy. I'm gonna call. Let's create a library.
Okay. Let's go back to the console and generate a new NestJS, same NestJS library.
Yep, NestJS library.
Okay. Where did it go?
I think you type
Oh,
in.
okay. There we go. I saw
No,
it. It
no,
was.
we don't want to use the schematics library one. We want to use the
Oh,
one from
right.
Nrwlian.
That is correct. Nrwlian Nest library.
Yep, and we're gonna call this one data access article.
Data access article.
In directory API. And I guess that's it.
Okay, we looks good on the dry run. We'll go ahead and run that.
Yep. And for we're gonna generate another one. We call it feature article.
Okay, library, narwhal nest, and you said article,
Feature
feature
slash
article.
dash
Right.
article.
I should have the, I should have the convention down by now with data access and feature, but yes.
Right.
Okay.
That looks good to me.
Okay, let's generate that one.
Just a side note. If you scroll down to the on the generate screen a little bit, if you take on that controller, there's a controller.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to include a controller with a feature library, which what we want. But then if you take that, it's going to give you like API feature article controller name,
Yeah.
and that's a long name. So I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, there was that. I know with that, at least with the Angular generator, it gives you that simple module name
Yep.
that kind of shortens that for you. But we don't. Maybe it's something we can look at
hmm
for the
I mean,
the controller.
I guess we haven't heard like any complaints or many complaints about it. So
No, it's yeah. Most of the time, if it's something you can quickly delete, that's what people
yeah,
will do anyway. So
yeah,
that's probably what they're doing.
yeah. So
So I'm sure
inside,
they would let us know.
yeah. So inside of data access article, we're gonna create an article.model.ts.
Okay, article.model.ts.
Yep. We're gonna go with something really simple. So export class article.
Article.
Yep. And just there's a field called text. It's gonna be a string and author, which is just another string.
Author string.
And
Okay.
we're gonna decorate this class with a decorator named schema.
Is this title case schema?
Yeah, that's title case. Yeah, and that's gonna come from NestJS Mongoose.
Okay, let's see if this is gonna help me any. No. I keep giving it a chance and it keeps falling down.
I think it's probably because this is like a new library that's
Uh
generate. So,
yeah, that's true. Okay,
so
so we
it's
got the
yeah. So
schema.
inside of schema, if you're familiar with Mongoose, you can pass any options that Mongoose accept for schema inside
Mm-hmm.
of this schema decorator, which we're going to use. You can pass in an object, and we're
Okay.
going to use timestamps too.
Timestamps.
Yep, this is gonna give you created at and updated at
Oh,
automatically.
okay. I see.
Right now, for each of the fields inside of article, we're gonna decorate it with prop.
Okay. Prop.
Yep, yep. Right now, we're gonna export a type. Um, so export type, and we call it this article document.
Article
Yep, and it's
document.
gonna be equals to article ampersand document and document from Mongoose.
Oh, I got the global one here.
Yeah.
Document from Mongoose. Okay.
Yep. Explanation is uh, your your document inside of MongoDB will have like the underscore ID generated as the
Mm-hmm.
unique ID for that document. And basically, when you create your model, you don't have to have that defined because it's defined on the document
Mm-hmm.
interface of Mongoose. So that's what we're doing here.
Oh, okay. I
Yep.
see.
All right, now we're going to export a const, which is the schema. So export const article schema.
Article schema.
Is going to equals to a schema factory, and that's from Mongoose as well. Yep, NestJS Mongoose dot create for class,
Create
and
for
we pass in article.
class. Article.
Right, so this create for class is going to scan your class. This is going to know what prop you have, and it's going
Mm-hmm.
to create a schema out of for you.
Okay, I see.
Yep. Now we're going to go to
Uh, okay, we had a question. We'll after we get through this, we'll see if we have time or we can answer that question. But what did you see next?
We're gonna go to the module, the
Module.
feature. I mean, the data access module of article.
Oh, okay. Data access module.
Yep. Now, I guess remove the controllers. We use imports.
Import.
Yep, we're gonna import Mongoose module. I think it's gonna help you now. No?
We'll see.
Oh,
There it
there we go.
is.
There we go. We're gonna do a for feature.
For feature.
It's gonna accept an array of object.
Array of
There's a name. We can do article.name. Article as the class. Yeah. And then the schema will be article schema.
Article.schema.
No, article schema, the cons that we
article
have.
schema.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, import that or not.
It's not
There
helping
we
you?
Yeah, there's a. You know what happens when you get on stream. Your computer
Yeah,
doesn't want
it's
to.
sluggish. Yeah.
Yeah, gets a little
Right.
sluggish.
So now we have the model set up with Mongoose. So now MongoDB is aware of our model. You can just use this model directly, but it's good practice to create a service for it. So we're going to create article.service.ts.
Article service.ts.
Yep. And it's just going to be an injectable class, article service.
Article service.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to type that one. Injectable. And this one's from NestJS Common, or is this from?
NestJS Common, yeah. All right, inside of the article service, we're going to have a constructor that we're going to inject the model. We're going to use the add inject model.
Oh, okay, I see. Inject. Is it inject model or?
Yep,
okay,
model.
There it is.
And we're going to use the article.name again. And you can call this whatever you want to. So it's going to be a private.
Private.
Article model, or just article is fine. Yep, and the type of this is model, and model is from Mongoose. Yep, and it is a generic. You can pass in the article document.
Article document.
Sweet.
Okay, let me open that up so we can at least see. Okay, that's a little too small. Okay, so you got article model and model of article document.
Yep. Right now we're gonna create just an async get all function.
Async get all.
Right, it's gonna return await this dot article model dot find.
Find.
Yep, it's a function, and after that dot exec, as in execute. Yep.
Like that.
That's that, just like that.
Okay.
And now we're gonna provide this service and export it in the module.
Okay, so we go here and export it star from lib article. Okay, almost. Article service and add it to the module here.
Yep, providers and exports.
Exports. And come on.
Come on.
All right. From should be article service. There we go.
Yes. Cool. Now let's go to our feature module of the of the article.
Okay, feature article.
And we're going to import that data access module. You will start seeing the pattern here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is you create the module, then you create your data access, you create your feature, you wire it up, then you add your data access to your feature module.
Yep.
And take out the controllers. That's the part I like. You take out the controllers, you add the imports, and then you add the feature. Article. Let's see. API article.
API data access article module.
Okay, I thought. Well, I guess I shouldn't have depended on it to help me from for that one because it's been off and on here. So, but that's okay. Are you gonna at least nope? Still no help.
Oh man.
This is like a running ad for
yeah.
for WebStorm just for the auto imports alone. Data access article.
Right. Sorry, I have to break your bubble. We're gonna need a controller here.
Oh, I once again jumped the gun. We need a controller that I just deleted. So,
yeah, we're gonna have to create a controller anyway. So,
okay.
Yeah, you can call this article controller.ts.
Article. Oops. Controller.
I would go with convention of dot controller.
Yes, that is correct. Article controller.
So this one is export class article controller.
And we need to decorate this one with a controller?
Absolutely.
There we go.
And we're gonna give it a name. So that's gonna be the path. And I usually go with like the plural version of the entity here. So it's articles.
Articles. Okay.
Yep. And now we're gonna inject the article service.
We'll see if the article
There we go.
service.
Now we're gonna create our first endpoint.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Which is get all articles.
get all articles.
And it's gonna be an async method. And here we just return await this article service. Get all. And we're gonna decorate this with a get.
Okay, decorate. Get.
Did it help you?
Yeah, it gave me the import there that time.
Sweet. Now we're gonna have to declare this controller in the module.
Okay, so in here, article controller. Okay, the blue means that it's going to help me. So there you go.
Cool. Now we go to app module and use this feature article module.
Okay. I'm getting the pattern down here.
Mm-hmm.
API feature module API. Okay. Feature config. All right. I'm going to do some copy pasting here really quickly. See if we can get this working. But this one's going to be feature article.
Yep.
There we go.
All right. Now you can just restart your. I hope your Docker Compose is good now.
Hopefully so. Hopefully it's taking enough time to download and do all what it needs to do.
Oh, it should be good now.
Okay, yeah, I saw something different than what I saw before. So
Yep.
It looks like we got some data, which is good.
Yeah. All right. Now, if you go to localhost/API, localhost 3000/API/articles,
Okay, 3,000 plus articles.
We see an empty array because we don't have any article.
Hey, but it all worked on the.
Yep.
After all
Do you
that,
have? I mean, do you have time for like another half an hour? We're gonna
yeah, we
put
can roll with it.
absolutely cool. All right, now we know that we fetching from the database, which is we don't have any articles yet,
Mm-hmm.
but like testing this way is a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna promote myself as a Swagger module maintainer. Let's use Swagger now. Let's put in some OpenAPI UI stuff.
Okay. Let me. Let's see. I'm going to commit these changes.
Yeah.
And that way.
Oh, I don't know if you can commit.
Oh, okay. Well,
Let
let's.
me. Yeah, let me invite you though.
Oh, well, I just cloned it locally. Well, I'll
Yeah,
just
just
commit.
commit locally.
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
just commit locally for now. Then
Yeah. Yeah.
we can settle that up
Yeah.
after.
Yep.
Feature added API for articles with Mongo. Okay.
Sweet.
Okay, where are we at next? You said
So we're
we
gonna
were going to
add.
Open API.
Yeah, we're gonna do some yarn installed again. Yarn add.
Okay.
So we're gonna
Right.
add again add NestJS / Swagger,
Swagger.
and we're gonna add a Swagger UI Express because we're using Express.js.
Swagger UI Express.
Yep,
That's
that's
it?
it. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So for again, you start seeing the pattern here.
Mm-hmm.
If you think of some libraries that you want to use, you might want to check out the NestJS documentation. Chances
Mm-hmm.
are, we might have it.
Yeah, so far I've counted Mongo, well, Express, of course. Express, Mongo, what was the other one that we, Open
Config,
API,
yeah,
the .env,
yeah.
they're all supported so far. So it sounds like y'all got a good handle on the most commonly used things.
I mean, our next stream could be create your your NestJS library because
Okay.
is that easy. That's why we support so many
Mm-hmm.
because is the footprint is very minor.
Mm-hmm. So is that while that is going there, is that something that a lot of like is a lot of authors do? Do they create like these other type of plugins for
Yeah,
their own type of libraries for
yeah.
NestJS?
So I guess go back to like Caleb question about remote configs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess now he mentioned. I mean he mentioned it. It probably something like AWS
Oh,
a
right.
key store or whatever, like Azure key store, whatever it is. I don't know. The key vault, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all of that should have like Node.js SDK, and then
Right.
you can write like a NestJS module to wrap that SDK.
Right. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got those. We got those packages installed.
Sweet. Now let's go to main.ts.
Main.ts.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh, let's have a function called configure swagger.
Just want to define this above the bootstrap.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Mhm.
Configure Swagger.
Yep. This function is gonna accept app config, which is of type app configuration. Is gonna accept another. It's gonna accept two more.
Okay.
So it's gonna be app, and the type is inest application,
Nest application.
and it's gonna accept the global prefix of type string.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's put those on some lines just so they can fall within what we're looking at here.
Sweet. So the first thing we're gonna create a document option. So for OpenAPI, you're gonna work with what we call Swagger document or OpenAPI document.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing is we're gonna create some doc options. So I'm gonna create a cons called Swagger doc options,
Swagger doc options.
and it's gonna equals to new document builder. Again, this is from NestJS Swagger.
Okay. And let's see. While I'm typing that in, just real quick, so what what is Swagger
Oh,
and
okay.
what we're doing with it?
So Swagger V2 now is OpenAPI V3. It is an API documentation tool.
Hmm.
So you can document your API, your controller, your endpoints, whatever it is, so that the people who consume your API don't have to come ask you.
Ah, yes, that is even better. I've had to
That's
document some APIs before, and of course, you make a change, and you got to go and update the
mhm.
documentation for that. But this, like I said, this kind of takes care of that for you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Right now with the document builder, we're gonna do set title. Um, dot set title. It's gonna be a fluent API. So
Okay.
yeah, set title.
Set title.
Yep, you can call this whatever you want. NX post API or NX article API. Right now we're gonna set description again, whatever it is you want to.
Article API docs. I
Yep,
guess
yeah,
that works.
yeah, that works. And we're gonna set a version. It's gonna be a string, and again, version is completely up to your team. Here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just put in 1.0.0.
Okay.
Next, we're gonna do an add server.
Oh. All right. Dot add server.
Yep.
And it looks like that takes a string.
We're gonna use the app config dot domain.
Ah, of course. App.config.domain.
Yep, and we're gonna give it a name after the domain. Like there's a comma, there's another argument to add server, and
Oh,
we call
okay.
this development. So this is our development uh, server.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we do dot build.
Dot build. Okay.
Right after this one, we're gonna have another const. I call it swagger doc, and we're gonna do swagger module dot create document.
Create document.
Yep. And we're gonna pass in
And
the app, and we pass in that doc options.
I see Swagger doc options.
Yep.
Okay, let's move this
All right.
over a little bit.
Yep. Next, we're gonna have a Swagger UI path under const,
Swagger UI
and
path.
this is gonna be a template string. It's gonna start with a slash, and then the global prefix,
Prefix.
and then slash docs.
Okay,
Right.
so I'm guessing this is just the path in the API that's gonna show that for us.
Yep. Right now we're gonna call Swagger module dot setup, and we're
Setup.
gonna pass in that path, Swagger UI path, pass in the app, and we pass in the Swagger doc.
Swagger doc.
Yep. Last but not least, we're gonna set up some logger. I'm gonna just send you this, so you don't have to type it out. I don't have to talk.
No, we're gonna do keystrokes and all. No, it's
Yeah, we're gonna
copy
save some
paste.
keystroke. I mean, keyboard enthusiast here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got the logger in here that's just giving us some information about, I guess, when we start up the docs.
Yep. So now back to the bootstrap function. So after we set up the global prefix, we're gonna call this method.
Okay.
Oh, actually, call it after you set global prefix as well.
Configure Swagger. You said after?
After the set global prefix.
Okay.
Yep.
Configure Swagger.
And you pass in the app
App
config,
config.
the app, and the global prefix. Right now, just save and run the application.
Okay. So we need to
Why the hell do we
restart.
need a Fastify Swagger? That's weird. I mean, if it errors out, we're gonna have to fix it.
Yeah, it looks like.
There we go. So if you look at the log uh, closer, you will see the Swagger Docs enabled log, and you can just open that link.
Swagger docs. Okay, I see. API / docs.
Yep.
Hey.
So now you can give this to your front end developers.
Mm-hmm. We got API articles.
So that's our only controller, our endpoint in there.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually try it out, and you will see the same empty array.
Response empty array.
Yep.
Hey.
And now you can see that, okay, we know it worked, but then you see that the get articles the endpoint is under a default like folder, and that's weird. We're gonna fix that. So go to app controller. Go to the article controller.
Article controller. Article.
And right beneath the controller decorator, we're going to use the API tags decorator from NestJS Swagger.
It's not API tags.
Yep. And you can give it a name. I give it the same name as the controller path. The API tags is from Swagger, the NestJS Swagger.
Okay. API tags. It's a good thing I'm reasonably well at typing because all this non-auto importing. Okay, what did I need to put in API tags?
You put in a string that, like the tag for this article controller. I usually use the same like articles plural, right?
Okay.
And if you save it, the browser should reload. You have to reload. There's no hard reload for Swagger UI, by the way.
Okay.
So you have to refresh. Oh no, that's good. The terminal is good, but the browser you have to refresh the browser.
Oh right. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, looks
Yep.
like.
Now you see this will be articles instead of default.
Okay, I see. Yes. API/articles.
Yeah. Right now we have the get articles. Now we have the way to test our API. Let's add a create article. So let's just go to, I guess, go to create. I'm thinking about how should we do this because I want to showcase something else as well. All right, let's create a DTO because let's say we want to create an article. We want to pass in some object or some data model.
Right.
So I want to create a new library called data access DTOs.
Data access DTOs. Okay. Generate. Almost. I should have the flow down by now. NestJS.
Yes.
Nest library. Generate data access DTOs under API.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, run that. Okay, and we're gonna trash can those two things.
Right now, again, delete the module. We don't need a module.
More deleting. It's fine.
Yeah. Because we don't need a module, but we're still using NestJS stuff in here, so that's why we create it as a Nest library. Some people might argue that why don't you just use a Node library, a workspace library, but we're using some NestJS feature. So.
Yes, that's true.
Yep. So now inside of here, under lib, I'm gonna create a folder called article. So we're gonna mimic whatever entities you have, like just article, the folder, just the folder.
Oh, folder.
Yeah, a directory.
Article.
Yep. Inside that, we're gonna have a create dash article.dto.ts.
DTO.ts.
Yep. Now we're gonna do export class create article DTO. And it's gonna be a text and author of that string.
Okay. Text and author. So this is just a quick question. Do you uppercase the DTO or does it matter? As
It doesn't
just
really
for
matter.
just for
Just
convention?
yeah, whatever you used to. I
Okay.
don't because it kind of looks weird to me.
All right, that's fine. We can go with the lowercase DTO.
Okay. All right. So now before we go, so now this is just a class. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is lonely TypeScript class. Swagger will not be able to detect this in any way. We're gonna have to
Right.
help Swagger out here. So for text and author, we're gonna decorate these with our API property from NestJS Swagger.
It's probably not gonna give me any help because it's a new library.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Oh man.
API property from NestJS Swagger.
Didn't Victor try to convince you guys to use WebStorm?
Every single day, Victor tries to do it. No, he's like, "Good morning. Have you tried WebStorm today?" And I say no, and I say good morning. And then we go about our day.
Wait, yeah. Before we go, there's something else we want to do in the
All
create
right.
article DTO.
Mm-hmm.
So for the API property here, you can pass in an object to, customize these a little bit more. What we want here is example. So you can pass in an object with an example key.
Okay. Example.
Yep. And you can give this any string. This is gonna show up when you use the Swagger UI. I would just call
Okay.
this like my first article or something.
I see. My first article, and
And we're gonna do
then
the same thing with author, and maybe just give it like Brendan.
example.
Again, this is to help your front end developers. All
Mm-hmm.
right, now we're gonna export this as the public API.
Okay. Exports from lib article.
Sweet, cool. Now we're gonna go back to the article service
Article service.
and create a new async method called create. Just create, yeah, and
Create
it's gonna
article.
yeah, that's fine too. And it's gonna accept the DTO that we just create. It's gonna be create article DTO. I don't think it's gonna help you.
No, probably not. Okay. Create article DTO.
So
Uh,
okay, viewers, I'm gonna blame I'm gonna blame Brandon for not using WebStorm.
How many times can we blame? Can we promote using WebStorm by the end of this? NX data access
And
DTOs.
I guess in the next time I come on Office Hour, I hope I'm not banned from Office Hour.
No, of course not.
I'm gonna have a counter.
I'm gonna use WebStorm next time, and then I'm gonna struggle through it on purpose just so we can get some.
Oh no!
I'm like, oh man, what is happening with WebStorm? I don't know what I'm doing. Everything's taking twice as long
All right,
to
so
do.
now inside of this method, we're gonna have a new cons called new article,
Article.
and it's gonna be new this dot no this dot new this dot. This is weird, I know, but it worked. New this dot article model.
Okay.
Yep, and you pass in that DTO.
DTO.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we're gonna return await this dot article model dot create.
Create.
And you're going to pass in that article. So I'm going to explain a little bit here.
Okay.
All right, so the article we inject is the mongoose model And
Mhm.
Mongoose model, this one is it has a constructible method, so you can call new on it, and then you can pass in a partial of the article model. So
I
basically,
see.
you can pass in whatever you want to, right? And then the Mongo schema validation is going to kick in. So this one is not going to require you, like TypeScript is not going to require you to put in anything required. But
Mhm.
then if you don't pass in anything that you say required when you define your schema, then Mongo is going to give you an error. So at this point, we just say, I want a new model. And
Mhm.
this article on line 16 is going to be constructed with like a new ID with created at and stuff like that. But it's not in the database yet.
All
Line
right.
18 is actually when we put this in the database.
Okay, I see.
So it works this way because you might need the article ID to do something else before you commit it to the database.
Like if you're updating an existing
Yeah,
article or something
pretty
like
much.
that.
Or you send this to like a basically you have like an author with an articles array with some like relationship, and you're
Mhm.
gonna use that ID as a reference.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, so we got
Yep.
that. I guess
Now
I'll
we're gonna
just
go
save
to the
that.
controller and we're gonna create another endpoint and call this method.
Okay, feature article controller
Yep.
and async
Yep.
create article.
Yep.
And this is going to
And
be similar to the
similar with a slight difference. So it's gonna be on our DTO of create article DTO, and we're going to decorate this parameter with a body decorator.
right here.
Yep. So this tells Nest that hey, this will come in as the request.body.
Okay. Press that body, and then we'll await
Yep.
this that article service. Come on. Create article.
Yeah. And don't forget to decorate this method with a post.
Yes. Post.
I think you're gonna have to import that, did you?
No, I didn't. And it didn't do it either.
All right,
Okay,
cool.
post.
Now we can save and go to Swagger UI.
Okay. We're all good here. Oh, did I break something? Let's see what we got.
It's
Cannot
just TypeScript
find.
being TypeScript.
No. Let's do that part really quick. There was a question. How do you usually handle type interface sharing between
Yeah.
front end and back end? Yeah. If you're using TypeScript all the way, then that's pretty straightforward. You generate a new library and you export that interface or type from the library, and then in your front end can consume it. That way you get the that shared between both places. So,
Yeah. But I'm gonna try to show a different way.
okay.
Right. So
Got
now, can you
hot off
refresh that browser now?
hot off the
Um,
press.
yeah.
All right. So we're back.
All right. So now you should have another endpoint in here, which is a post,
Yep.
and we can try it out. And you can see that example value now can it becomes your like. I mean, you can try with
Okay.
that, right? Now just execute.
Okay. Do I have to confirm or
Yeah,
yeah?
I think you so. And then just scroll down. You see the response body returns with the
Mm.
actual data in your database with the ID.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to the get all endpoint and you try that out, you should see your new article.
Okay. Localhost.
You can try it out in the Swagger UI.
Oh, okay. You're right. Get all. Try it out. And
Oh,
yeah,
I
I
think
must
you
have
hit execute
because
twice there. Yeah.
yeah, I hit it twice. Yeah,
Yep.
because I
That's
thought when clicked it the first time,
uh,
I thought it was trying to give me a confirmation that I needed to do it again.
that's fine. That's fine. All right. Now, can you scroll to the bottom of this page,
Yes.
the
Let's
Swagger
just
UI? You will see in the schema, let's create article DTO. right? So now this information is available to Swagger UI, which means it is available to front end and the toolings around Swagger.
Ah, I see.
But then there's one thing missing. The missing part is the return type of these method of these endpoints. We know that it returns an article, but the Swagger UI doesn't know. It just knows that you return some objects and arrays. Right? Now we're going to help that. We're going to help Swagger with that. So go back to the controller.
Okay.
All right. For the get, we're going to use API OK response decorator. Sorry, it's going to be a decorator.
Okay.
API OK response. So OK response is again a response with type 200, right? It's going to be from Swagger. So, yep. And inside of API OK response, we're going to pass in an object with type would be article. Oh, I guess no. The article class.
Oh, okay.
I guess now you have to
Type.
expose the article model.
Article model.
No, just article. Just article.
Oh, okay. That class that we created.
Yeah.
Earlier. DTOs.
Right. So after you do that, I have some side note here for people that are watching.
Is it? Okay, let me go back here. Is it the one from?
No, it's the article.
This one?
Yeah, we're gonna expose this as the public API,
Oh, okay.
which is a bad thing to do. With I'm gonna explain in a bit.
Okay.
Right now, you can have access to that model inside your controller.
Yes. Let's go
Where's
back
this
to-
screaming?
I think it was just a little bit behind.
WebStorm. There's a counter. There's a counter.
Oh my gosh, WebStorm is so much faster. I must try it immediately. No, let's see.
Right. So that's the type, and you're gonna let Swagger knows that this is an array. So is array 2.
Oh, sorry. Is array. Okay, now I'm just typing nonsense. Is array true?
Yep. Right now for the post, we're gonna use API created response.
API created response.
And the type is article as well. All right. While Brandon's import that manually, I'm gonna
Now
explain.
you're just trolling me also.
Created, not create.
Created, yes.
All right. So normally in your real world project, you would not want to expose the model as the public API of the data access, because the model is the contract between your application and the database. You don't want to expose that. You want your service to manage that instead of anything else, right? But here, because we run out of time, usually you would have like an article DTO, and then you have some transformation layer in between to transform
yeah.
your article to article DTO.
Yeah.
I talked to Brandon before. Like, if we have time, can I plug my library? But I guess we don't have time, so I'm not going to plug it.
We may not have time, but you can definitely share the if you wanna. We can bring up the site or talk about it or something. So
yeah,
point people to it at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's see. If I guess we're all good here, right? For the
we missed one thing. Can you go back to the article model?
Yes.
We're gonna do the same thing that we do with the DTO. So we have to let Swagger know that hey, this is an API property.
Okay. So we add this to these two.
Yep.
API.
So this is another thing that is not good when you don't have DTO.
Oh, you have to mix these two things together.
Yeah. Now you mix like the DTO. I mean the thing that's supposed to be exposed versus the contract to the database and stuff like that.
Yeah. API
Right.
property. Okay, that'll catch
All right.
up in a second.
Now you save. You go back. If you refresh your Swagger UI, now you will see the article schema show up.
Okay, schema. Scroll down here, and there we
Yep.
go.
And it will also show that your endpoints will return. We know the return type of these. So if you
Mm-hmm.
scroll up a little bit, um, under schema right there, 201 response, right? So we say it is a created response, so it knows that the status code of created is 201,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's same thing with the get. It's going to give you the array of article.
All right.
Right now, so you see that we have to do a lot of things to let Swagger knows about all of these information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but there's a better way. That's we're going to use the Swagger plugin, right? Can you? I'm sorry, Brandon. Again, can you
Right.
remove the API property from this?
Remove API property from both of
Yep,
them.
from both of them, and do the same thing in the DTO.
Okay, so we got that one, and create article DTO. Just delete this whole thing.
Just delete the API property. Yeah, I mean we're gonna lose the sample, but yeah. Uh, Now go to your controller and remove the API created response and API OK response as well. After all the trouble of typing that manually.
Right. You
Oh my
maybe
goodness.
import all these things and type all this stuff out. Now you're
So,
telling me to go
yeah,
delete it.
yeah. Before you show them pleasure, show them pain first.
You want to delete this second, the post one also, or
Yes,
no?
absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Right now, before we start, let's go to the Angular.json file
Okay.
and look for the build target of the API.
Okay. Let's
Right. Yep.
minimize that.
Add a new line after line 16,
Okay.
and we're gonna use TS plugins.
TS plugins.
Right. Pass in an object. The name will be NestJS Swagger plugin.
Swagger / plugin.
Yep. And there's an options.
Okay. Name options.
Yes. Let me see. Yes, plugin. So the options will be DTO file name suffix.
DTO file name suffix. I
Yep.
probably butchered that, but
File name camel case.
okay. File name like that.
Yep. Yep. It's gonna be an array. So this is like basically the file extension of all the models that you want Swagger to look at.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna give it dtl.dtl.ts and .model.ts and save and restart your server.
Okay. Feel like you're about to show me some magic here and with this Swagger plugin and a couple of configuration changes.
Yep.
Okay, let's see.
It's gonna take a little bit more because the plugin is working
Mm-hmm.
on your code.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess to say that that manual typing of API properties and that part of it, the mapping that you're talking about, is gonna do that for you for us.
Yes. Yep. I mean, I plan streaming.
Yes, it's like, did you want to stream? Did you want that to happen quickly? Let me just decrease your resources by like 30%,
Yep.
and then go from there.
All right, now if you refresh, so it's done. Now you refresh the Swagger UI, you will still see the same information without having to do all that decorators.
Ah, I see. Okay, so we got the schema back for the 200 for the array, and if we go to the post, we'll get the
Yep,
schema back
but
for the
yeah, but you
article.
notice that you don't have your example anymore, right?
Yes. I would, I want people to see my name when they type in when they visit my API. So
Uh,
I guess it's a fine trade off.
you can mix and match. I mean, if you use the plugin, you can still use the decorators.
Mm-hmm. Just
Right.
if you want to add some
Mhm.
additional, like you said, metadata and example values and
Absolutely.
things. Yeah.
All right, one last thing. This is the last thing that we're going to show today, and I'm sorry, Brandon, take up so much time
No, it's
again.
good. It's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of good information here. I think people will be able to use. So,
All right, now we're going to start with the sharing type interface kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to ask you to do a little bit more yarn add,
More yarn work,
more yarn work.
yarn add. At least it's not yard work. It was yarn work, so it's fine.
It just pays that long package name.
Okay. All right. Copy.
And this can be a dev dependency.
Okay.
Right. So as I mentioned before, your Swagger UI is again exposed to not exposed, but like friendly to the toolings around Swagger.
Mm-hmm.
So we're using a tool called OpenAPI Generator to again generate something for our front end to use.
Mm-hmm. I
Uh,
like all these automatic API generators. That way, you just have something to reference and you can just use it. So that part's pretty cool, I must say.
so while it's running, can you create a file on your root under the root called OpenAPI tools.json, all one word. OpenAPI tools.json.
Okay, open API tools.json.
Yep. And I paste in Slack again that.
All right, not much to paste there.
Yep. And create another file called openapi.config.json.
Yeah, this one
Oh,
in the root also.
on the root also.
Open API config.
It's going to be a,
Whoops.
a JSON file as well.
Okay.
And we're going to have this.
Open API config.
Yep.
Paste that.
Yep. Last thing I'm going to paste you is that.
Okay.
And double check. Right. So now, uh, oops.
Okay. So
Okay.
this looks like something for the package JSON.
Yep. It's going to be a script in your package.json.
Okay. Let's get that one. And we have scripts. And we'll paste that in there. Okay, so I think we're
Yep.
all set up
And
here.
before we do anything, just now we're gonna generate a new library for the front end.
Okay, library.
So this time it's gonna be an Angular library.
/Angular.
And I call this data access API. And directory would be article. And I think that's pretty much it. That's all you need.
Okay, we'll run that one. So we get that new library there. And
Is my create like does this install ng packager as well?
yes, it should. Oh, looks like a name already exists. What did I do? Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think that was a fluke. I had two terminals open there, or two NX consoles
Yep.
open there, so it looks like it ran it twice.
Now it's inside the data access API. We're gonna clean the inside the lib folder. Yeah, we don't need that module.
Okay, so we'll nuke that one.
Nuke that one. And in the index.ts, we just export everything from lib instead of.
Okay. I've forgotten how to type. There we go.
Yeah.
Lib.
Sweet. Now it's fine. It's error. It's just fine because we don't have anything in lib. Now just go to package.json and like just inspect that script that it just sent you. See what it does.
Okay, so we got OpenAPI generator, CLI generate, localhost 3000, API docs dash JSON, generate TypeScript Angular, and it's looking at the article data access API and using that config that we made,
Yep.
right?
Yep. So can you go scroll to the right there, the localhost
Localhost.
API docs. So API docs is where Swagger UI lives right now. If you append -JSON to whatever path you set up for your Swagger UI, you're gonna get the JSON version of your Swagger UI. So you might want to do that now if you like, just to see what it looks like.
Okay, so let's collapse that, and we'll bring this over some. Docs JSON.
So now because this is in JSON format, toolings around Swagger UI can read this JSON format. So we're saying for the OpenAPI generated tool, saying, hey, this is the input, read this, using the generator called TypeScript Angular, and generate like services and stuff like that based on this generator to this output.
I see. So you can read it, like you said, read this in and generate your own, all the stuff that you need for your front end. Services and things.
Now you can run this script.
Okay, so we got yarn run API gen.
Yep.
If I copied all my config correctly.
Yeah. It should generate things, and we can take a look at that.
And so this is while that's doing that, this is just something that you have to do after you make a change, make a change or something like that, so it can update the files and things.
So basically, let's think that you have front end team and back end team, and back end team makes the change to the API that might break the front end team. Then that's a break and change from the back end point of view. I mean, from the front end, I don't know, back end point of view, right? So now the back end team has to communicate that to the front end team. Hey, there's an API change because probably there's a change log. And the front end team has to figure out, okay, now should we update to that new version of the back end team provides us, and then rerun this generation. That's it.
Right, because well, and like I said, the one added thing about this is since we were all working in the same space, if they update those APIs. If your front end and back end are in the same repo or monorepo, then if they break something, they can fix it.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
So we got all the.
Yep. So that's generate everything, and the lib that this generates has an index, so that's why we can just export everything from lib. Right now, if you look at the model, there's an like DTO for us to use. Right.
Move that over here.
If you look at, can you look at the API, the API folder? There should be an article service.
Yep.
And this article service should have the method that call your endpoints.
This all looks familiar. Localhost, HTTP clients. Let's collapse that so we can expand this some. HTTP client. We got inject base path. Add to HTTP params. Looks like pretty standard stuff. Article controller, create article, and get all articles. So yeah, everything that we define in the API is there to.
I don't see the article though.
You don't see the article. Which one?
So.
Oh, you mean
it's
this?
Like the type of the return type.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So it's something that we might want to have to do API, like we help like Swagger out here. So can you go back to the article controller?
Yeah. article. See if we API feature
feature article,
article controller.
and we're gonna put back those. I guess you can do command Z.
And we're
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Okay, so we ran that. So I just run the API gen again. Or no?
Have you your backend should be refreshed. But can you refresh the Swagger UI to make sure that we have those?
Okay. Let's go back to here.
It should be API docs though.
No. Docs.
Yeah. Yeah, there's article, but it doesn't find it. Okay.
Do I need to restart the?
Oh, I think I know why. I think I know why. Yeah, I'm gonna double check this offline, but let's
Okay.
never mind. All right, now rerun the generator.
Run API gen.
I think if you're using the plugin to generate the response for your endpoints,
Mm-hmm.
you probably gonna have to
You have to
write
put
your
the
return
return.
type.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so generated that again.
Yep.
If it
Now
works.
it should show the model with the article.
Why is it putting that over there?
Yeah, I see
Whoops.
the article imported.
Yep. It's definitely
So
there
now you can just go to your app component and call this method, and it should return you the correct thing.
Okay, so you said go to the app component.
Yeah, app component.ts and
Okay,
inject this.
post constructor.
It's gonna be articles API service.
Okay, articles API service. Yeah, one last time to because
One last
we gotta complete
time.
the we gotta complete the loop. So okay, so this one is article
Article data
data
access
access.
API.
Okay, so then we
I
got
mean, right?
articles.
Yeah, just do async pipe and all that.
Oops, not dollar sign.
It's
Get
gonna be like a funky name.
article controller. Get all articles.
Yeah,
That works.
that works.
Okay.
There's way to customize that, by the way, viewers.
CLI ng4 let article of articles async. Article.name.
There's no name though. Text,
text.
and
Yes.
author. Yeah.
Text. Article.text and author.
Finger crossed.
All right.
We might be able. There's a proxy, so it's fine. Now we have to run both the backend and front end again. So
Okay.
yeah,
Uh,
I guess we can just open a new API, new terminal, and run the front end
yeah,
separately.
that works. Nx serve port post.
Yeah, I went with post when I created the workspace, but then switched to article because of that imported the model.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if we use post, then it's conflict with the post decorator from Nest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, naming things. Naming things gets us once again. Okay. App component. Okay, maybe I did something wrong here. Okay. Didn't save. There you go. Are you happy now? Okay.
This might be course issue.
Probably. Let's see. But the proxy is a
Yeah, the proxy should work, right?
yeah. Let me open it up here
Yeah, can we
and
see
see.
the network tab and stuff like that?
Yeah, let's. Yes, I'm gonna let me stop this share really quickly, and then we can switch back to the other one for clarity there. So we got post, and I need to dock this. Okay, so now yeah, we see we got the core says bitness again, but I've done this at least once or twice with NestJS. So I think if we just go into apps API source main and we do app dot
Oh, you're not sharing the screen, by the way.
yes, you are correct. Stop share, switch back, window. Okay, so we're back to, let's add this back to the stream. So we go in here, app, and is it use
Enable course.
enable cores? There we go.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So let's see if that all that gets refreshed, and then we will stop that share and come back here while that reloads, and come back to here and refresh this one. And now we got my first two articles uh,
Awesome.
showing correctly, all wired up from uh, we full stacked it all the way, type safe, full stack type safety, and there you go.
Yep. And now I'm gonna explain why, the generator is a, um, I guess, is a good approach when we
Mm-hmm.
use like monorepo like this, because so assuming your DTOs, right, you're gonna expose like an article DTO, and you're gonna like put in like the API property and stuff like that, and that is NestJS
Mm-hmm.
dependency. We cannot share that with the front end with NestJS dependency.
Right.
So generator is a nice workaround, or actually, I mean, is an approach that used a lot in a lot of projects that I've been on. There's another approach which is new, is that the Swagger module just got like a shim file, so you
Mm-hmm.
can you can use the shim to tell your front end bundler and say, hey, if you see Nest.js, look at this shim file, and then you can
Yeah.
share. You can share your stuff without the generator. But then again, you're gonna have to write auto services yourself.
No, who wants to write service all those services by themselves? Take the trade off
Yeah.
of
So yeah, those are trade offs. Absolutely, those are trade offs.
hmm. Well, cool. That was. I think we got a lot done there. We built an entire built an API decorators and all auto generated documentation, and we killed a lot of boilerplate. I'll throw it out there. We reduced the need to type a lot of stuff that we didn't have to, which was
Yeah.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, in a real project, we would have to have like a base model, a
hmm.
base service, and stuff like that. So you don't have to keep like find all, create all that,
Hmm.
and then error handling as well.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool. And I know, like I said, I know we didn't have time to get to one more thing, but I will share this in the on the stream here. You have written some other libraries, also. I guess this being one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this the one that you wanted to talk about? Automapper.
Yes. So if you're a .NET developer, you're probably familiar with the Automapper library in .NET. And what the Automapper does is just basically it maps your stuff. It maps your
Mm-hmm.
entity to your DTOs or view models, right? Models for the view. Um, and the idea is that you don't want to expose your entity to the front end.
Mm-hmm.
In the Node.js ecosystem, there's a lot of packages that do that. Just to name one, class transformer. That's the most popular one.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have that. However, when I first worked with NestJS, I feel like something was missing, and I created this Automapper, which is very, very similar with Automapper. So
Mm-hmm.
if you come from a .NET background, you want to use something that .NET has, but like missing in the TypeScript or Node.js ecosystem, check this one out and hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, definitely check out this library. Automapper is like you got a good bit of contributors there also. So other people are interested or are using it and interested in using it. So we'll add that link to the show notes also. So that way you'll get some downloads off of that and maybe you get some more contributors
Yeah,
also.
and this is built with NX. So
Of
if
course it is.
if you want to learn how to build libraries with NX,
Hmm.
hit me up as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, we got to get that in there. Open source NX, of course, it's open source. Definitely take advantage of all that.
Yep.
Somebody said thanks for the live coding. We should do more live sessions like this one. Hey, we can look and see if make that happen if that's what the people want. So
Yeah.
I think we had a good session today, and we'll look at doing more of that in the future. So if you lasted this long, I got to get the plug out there. If you lasted this long, you made it to this far in the video, go ahead and like the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, do that because we do these on the second and fourth Mondays of each month. And then if we have special ones, we do live streams on those also. Um, so definitely check that out and do all the YouTube and the YouTube and Twitch things. We're on Twitch and YouTube and XDev Tools on Twitter also. Also definitely check out all of those. Um, I don't think we had anything else. If we didn't get to your question this time, feel free to submit it. Like I said, through the form that we share out with the
Yep.
show notes, and leave a comment on the stream if you found this video helpful. Also,
So there's a question. Let's answer that one, and then we call it a day.
yeah, sure. So the question is how to run different configurations in Nest.js for like development, staging, and production.
All right. So what I do is, I mean, I kind of old school, and I'm not a DevOps. I'm not a DevOps at all. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a private repo with all my environments,
Mm-hmm.
um, and with different branch for different environments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in my application, because like if you watch from the start, we set up like configuration module with all of these configuration files that actually read from the environment file first
Mm-hmm.
before it provides default values. So if you have like a staging, right, and you have like your CI/CD pipeline, in your CI/CD pipeline, you're gonna just pull your private repo with that env file and just put that in the
Yeah.
application. And when it builds, it runs. It's actually just gonna read from that first.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Cool. More secret sauce for you. Put your environments in a private repo, and then you can use those during the deployment
yes, yeah. With
pipeline.
GitHub Actions and with like private repos, it's free on GitHub now. Make
Mm-hmm.
use of that because your GitHub Actions has access to your private repo.
Ah, yes. That's a pro. That sounds like a pro tip. Uh,
Because
so
it
yeah.
uses the same token.
Yeah. Same
Yeah,
token for your other
yeah.
repos. Well, cool. Yeah. Ciao. Thank you once again. We had a good, like I said, we had a good long session today. Thank you for dropping all the Nest.js knowledge on us and how we can take more advantage of that in NX monorepos and across the board. And we, like I said, we look forward to more. We'll do some more content around this so people
Yeah.
can see how much value they can get out of Nest.js.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yep. If you want to see Brandon Cole more, just harass him to ask me to come on more because I like to make my host code.
There you go. I think the people can make that happen and we can make that happen. So definitely can do that. All right.
Again, thank you for having me on. I had blast. Even it's long. It's past my lunch time now. Uh,
He's like starving over there. It's like I need to eat now, but yeah, we'll let you go so you go ahead and get something to eat there. Then we'll see everyone next time.
yep.
See ya.